Hey folks, this is Stephen Totilo, your editor-in-chief at Kotaku, and you were looking at my Wara Wara Plaza, which is what you see when you start up the Wii U. Specifically, you're seeing some of the Miis that show up in the center of the plaza that represent me and some of the people that I've added to my friends list there through the new easier friending that you can do on this No More Friend Codes. Some of the Miis you see word balloons coming out of, and the ones in the middle, if you see balloons coming out of, those are messages that those people, those users, actually left. So that guy wrote "What's up" in relation to Nintendo Land, and you'll see other messages pop up. The Miis in the periphery are all system Miis right now. They're in there pre-baked by Nintendo, but these ones in the middle are, yeah, this guy's saying about Mario, it's so fast. That's a reader named Gabby, I think. Austin wants to know about Assassin's Creed. And the reason why some of these sound like they're people asking for help is because these are actually messages that they posted in the Miiverse, which is what I'm going to be showing you here. Miiverse is a new social networking system that is in service that Nintendo has launched. It's had a shaky launch. It was actually down a good chunk of Sunday, which was day one for the Wii U. It's been up and down. But I think it's got a lot of promise and a lot of ambition, and I think people may not understand what it is yet because Nintendo's done such a poor job of explaining things to new system owners, and because frankly it hasn't been working well enough. So here you see I'm actually going to access it. By the way, I'm driving all this, or I was when I captured this, with a Wii U remote. You also can move the plaza down onto the gamepad and control it with the control sticks on the gamepad. That's the controller with a 6-inch screen in it, if you don't know. Or you can even tap your way through some of these things because Miiverse and other things have options on the touchscreen. So here we are. This is the first thing that you see when you go into that. Now this is actually appearing simultaneously on the TV and the gamepad. And you're seeing messages left by people who are on my friends list. And they've left messages in different groups in Miiverse that are all tied to specific games, which is why you see a Scribblenauts icon or an Assassin's Creed icon or a Call of Duty Black Ops 2 icon. And people can type their messages or they can handwrite them. So here you see the user, some of the different groups for the different games, and you can see the user counts on these. I believe the numbers are the number of people contributing to each one. Stars represent communities that I've favorited, but you can go into any of these and you'll see people talking about games. So there's a whole bunch of different rules they have in here to make this not just a free-for-all message board. I went into this one for a bit because it's just kind of funny. Funky Barn is not a game I think a lot of people are looking for. I discovered when I went in that this user, Ryan, now these are not friends of mine, these are just people posting on the Funky Barn community in Miiverse. Ryan decided to post tic-tac-toe and people are able to respond to each other. So you see what happens here is within the Funky Barn community, people playing a game of tic-tac-toe against each other. And anybody could have responded and by clicking that comment icon on the bottom right. You can also, by clicking the bottom right thing, the post icon, you can just add your own post and you'll see people are having some fun with what they're doing here. You can yeah things. That's like liking something on Facebook, or you can un-yeah it. And if you get more yeahs, I guess the posts become more popular. And you can filter by popularity instead of by recent. You can see the number, the person's face, and then the number next to it. That's the number of yeahs. And to the right of that is the number of replies. And most of these messages are not being replied to. If you actually see a box, a little icon of a box, that means the person who's commenting in this community actually has the game. So you'll see that most people here in Funky Barn don't actually have the game, and you'll see that's a bit different on some of the other ones. I decided just to keep going through this to see how ridiculous things got, and all the way down there we see JC Fletcher, a fellow games journalist, and he actually began a post welcoming people to the community, and you see he doesn't have the check mark either, so he doesn't have the game. He's allowed to block his text with a spoiler notice, and if he fails to do so and yet he's done spoiled the game somehow, you can click this report spoilers thing and you can do so for anybody responding. And also you can report violations. So here I am actually contributing to this, deciding to respond. And now you see my options. I can either tap there and type out a response, or I can click the icon below it and do some sort of handwritten response and then post it. It's as simple as that. If I were to click the spoiler option, you'll see that I would have been able to actually click whether or not I had spoiler content in the information. So I'm responding to him below. And when I do this, he would then get a notification. The way you get notifications in the system is that you have, oh, I'm sorry, the reason nothing was happening there, by the way, is because I was tapping that out on my gamepad. You can't see that. I guess the text entry doesn't show up on the TV screen, which is what I captured from. But anyway, he would get a notification. Hit the home button on the gamepad, which looks like a little house. It's the bottom of the controller. That would blink blue with a circle around it. And then you would know if you click the home button in the middle of anything else you would see, then the Miiverse icon shows up during that home menu pause menu, and you see it blinking. And so you know that something is happening in Miiverse. You can access Miiverse when you're in the middle of anything else, and I'm going to show you that functionality later. Here we're in the Mario community for New Super Mario Bros. U, and you see people get pretty artistic and creative. And people had been doing this kind of stuff in a lot of the PictoChat and other kind of drawing, swapnote, and those types of programs on the portable. But now they can do it for each other, and some of the drawings have been pretty good. Notice, by the way, the check mark here next to the box on a lot of people's comments. That's a sign that they actually own the game. So what I want to show you now is that you don't just go there from the home menu. It's actually potentially much more useful to go there from a game. So I jumped ahead and just shown you that we're loading up Zombie U here, and I switched showing you the actual loading up of the game, but I wanted to just set this up visually. And we're going to go into the game, and we're just in the safe house. So this is, I'm a few hours into the game. There's not going to be any spoilers or anything, though, so don't worry about that. And I wanted to show the ability, because the game is connected online, and all games support Miiverse. It's not, you can do this with any game. You'll see that I'm able to get to any point and say, hey, you know what? I want to post a comment about this. Maybe I'm stuck in the game. Maybe I'm having some sort of problem, and I need help with a puzzle. This could be a Mario game, and I don't know how to get past a certain part. In this case, I thought, okay, I'll just kind of pretend that I have some sort of quandary, even though I'm in the safest part of the game here. So the way you do that is quite simple. You press the home button, and you'll see that, again, that's that button on the gamepad controller that I described, and you'll see this menu pop up. And friends list is blinking because I have a new friends list. Something has happened on my friends list. I probably got another friend invitation there. But I've clicked on Miiverse. And Wii U, one of its issues is it takes a bit to load application to application, but don't worry, the game is still running when it's doing this. And it's annoying that it takes a bit of time here to do this, but we're multitasking, and we will get to the Miiverse. And it's automatically put me in the Zombie U community, which is nice of them. And you can see just generic comments that people are leaving. So I decide, okay, let's assume that I have an issue here. Now notice this, I click the screenshots thing, and those are screenshots of what I was just seeing in the game. That bottom screen there was what was on my gamepad. Top screen there, that was what was on my TV. This is an awesome, awesome feature. I really love this part of it. So I'm able to, it's automatically taking a screenshot when I've hit that home button. I'm able to then connect that screenshot to my post here. So I'm tapping out in this case, I think I was handwriting out a question. And again, I apologize, I didn't realize it wasn't capturing this on the TV. But on the gamepad right now, I'm scribbling out a question. And the question involves, does anybody know why you may see this question at the end, but does anybody know why sometimes you're not allowed to save at this bed in your safe house? And I honestly didn't know the answer to this. I had a feeling I'd figure it out as I was playing. And I would have the option to click the spoiler button there if I felt like this was a spoiler, if my image was a spoiler. And people could have, if I failed to do that, they could have then said, you know, oh, this is, there you go, here's my message. Yeah, so there I am considering hitting a spoiler, and people could reprimand me and I guess report me if I hadn't done that. So I post that in the community. Bear in mind, I'm still in the game. I've just paused the game by doing that. People can click on the screenshot I left to see the context of what that is. There's a checkbox next to the box there, which shows, check mark rather, which shows that I own the game that I'm talking about. No replies yet, no likes yet. So I went back into the game. Now, this was not a real life situation in that I wasn't actually playing the game as I was capturing this, or at least not really trying to just sort of go along and do my thing. I happened to linger here a little bit though, just to see what some things that people were saying. You can see for yourself. I decided to go back to the game. So I hit the home button. That Miiverse icon isn't blinking, and I went back into the action. I think about, it was maybe, I'm not sure how much later. It could have been 20 minutes later or so. The time may even show up here on the capture, I don't recall. But I messed around a little bit, and sure enough, the home menu was blinking. Here, jumped ahead a little bit, and warped ahead in time. And the home menu icon had been blinking, and that had indicated that somebody had left a comment. Actually, I missed it blinking, but I had a feeling it was probably somebody who responded by then. But this was definitely less than an hour later. And so I hit the home menu, or the home button. The game would have paused, essentially, just by the act of me pressing the home menu, so I wouldn't have to worry about getting killed in Zombie U in the process. And then you see that Miiverse icon was blinking there. Again, you have to wait for it to actually load itself up. Almost there. And there we go, back in the Zombie U community. it doesn't take me right to whatever the activity was, because it may not have been about Zombie U. It may have been about some other message I left, but I click on notifications. You see 2 people have done something related to the handwritten post I had just done. I have to remember, I guess, that was the Zombie U one, and I'm going to click to see what they did. So you'll see as I scroll down that one person gave me a yeah, okay, and then one person responded, and they have a check mark next to the box. That means they actually have the game, so they're giving me an informed opinion, hopefully, and that's their answer. So essentially what this has done, which I think is fantastic, is it's given me the ability to do what I used to do when I was a kid and I was stuck in Zelda back in the day, right? I'd go to school and I would ask people, how do you get past this thing? Or which bush do you have to burn to find the other entrance to the dungeon? I guess I wouldn't even know you had to burn a bush. No, somebody would have told me. And so, these days people would go to GameFAQs. Here you can do it within the system. That's a new idea for console games. And as much as Miiverse is getting some knocks right now because the system has been up and down, and as different as it is from, say, Xbox Live, because it's not really about voice chat and parties and stuff like that, I think there's something really good here. Some of the community stuff, the fact that there's game-based pages, remind me of some of the things you see on Steam, where communities can form around games. A lot of what I'm seeing here, though, it feels really fresh. It feels positive. It feels useful. It's nice to know, and I wonder in what ways it'll actually inform game design on the Wii U, with developers knowing that people can always reach out to each other for help and assistance. I'm glad Nintendo's doing this. It's a bit different. I always like to see them doing something different. I just hope they can get Miiverse to work consistently. If they can, I think there's a lot of potential here with this service, and I look forward to seeing where it goes.